I love it. I love it. Every bit of it. You know, I'm talking about the African Cup of Nations. And on today's edition of World Football Africa, we take a look at the big games, the big guns, and the big results. That means Senegal, Morocco, Nigeria, Egypt, Ivory Coast, Ghana, and South Africa. South Africa. First of all, thanks for watching, and kindly remember to subscribe to the channel and like this video. It helps to promote the channel. Now, let's start with the blockbusters, the big games, you know, Senegal against Cameroon, Ivory Coast versus Nigeria, and Egypt against Ghana. You know the results. Senegal ran out 3-1 winners against Cameroon, reminding us why they are favourites to defend their title. Then Nigeria beat the home side courtesy of a penalty. Then you had Ghana blowing the lead twice to draw 2-2 with the Favourtes. There is plenty to get into here, but let me start by saying that it is clear Morocco, and especially defending champion Senegal, are the teams to beat at Afcon 2024. Yes, I know it is early days and all that, but for the likes of Ivory Coast, Nigeria, Egypt, Ghana, and perhaps even Cabo Verde to challenge for the title, they will have to make improvements, maybe even significant improvements. In Ghana's case, they may not even get out of the group because it's very likely they fail to beat Mozambique in their final Group B game. And if they then finish with 1 or 2 points, they will be packing their bags. If they get a victory in that game, which, I think is the most probable outcome, it will put them in contention to finish among the best 4 third-placed finishers, and they will therefore get into the round of 16. But seriously, how far can the Black Stars go with such a lax attitude towards defending? You know, it looks like Santa Claus is spending the first quarter of this year as part of Chris Hughton's backroom staff, because the kind of gifts Ghana have been giving away to opponents at the Afcon are not to be expected of a serious title contender. Obviously, they miss Thomas Partey's maturity, I'll grant that. But this is still a team loaded with elite African stars. They should be able to get, the defensive basics right. They should be doing better. And who knows, maybe they will get their act together if they sneak into the knockout rounds. It happens. We've seen it before. Either way, they have to get better. One team that looked better in its second game was Nigeria. Their 1-0 victory over Ivory Coast was impressive because that wasn't an easy game, especially going into it. They were playing against the hosts, who had looked relatively solid in their 2-0 win over Guinea-Bissau, while Nigeria had only managed a 1-0 draw against Equatorial Guinea. To be fair, the Super Eagles had created enough chances to win that game comfortably. But because they didn't, they went into the match with Ivory Coast in a kind of must-win scenario. The winning goal for Nigeria against Ivory Coast was scored by their captain and defender, William Troost Ekong. Now, apparently, Victor Osimhen is 4th in the pecking order of Nigeria's penalty takers, which I suppose is fine, but is a recipe for controversy down the road. I mean, if the best player in Africa, who was the second highest scorer in Europe's top 5 leagues last year, is not given Nigeria's penalty-taking responsibilities, then what criteria is being considered here? Anyways, as long as Ekong is banging them in and the one against Ivory Coast was really hammered in, no one is going to complain. But it's only a matter of time. Now, Nigeria should go on and qualify, for the knockout stages. But did the victory against Ivory Coast convince us that they are a genuine title threat? For now, I'm still saying no. They obviously have the players, and if you want to make a case for Nigeria's title credentials, you simply have to look at their playing resources. Look at their front three of Osimhen, Chukwueze, and Lookman. Seriously, is there any better front line at the tournament? Maybe Morocco's with Eneseri, Hakim Ziyech, and Azedine Onahe can compete, but I still feel Nigeria boasts more firepower. My biggest issue with the Super Eagles is that they look more like a sum of parts, especially when compared to Morocco and Senegal, who are more fluid and cohesive. Now, I'm not sure if Nigeria's individual brilliance will be enough to overcome that issue in Ivory Coast. But if they start putting away their chances, it really may not matter. And what about the hosts, Ivory Coast? Are they anything more than dark horses? Are they even dark horses to start with? Frankly, Cote d'Ivoire would be happy with reaching the semi-finals. In my view, they don't have the cutting edge to win the Afcon. And this is not just because of their loss to Nigeria. Even against Guinea-Bissau, I felt the Elephants were good but not exceptional. And I feel that that is the best description of Ivory Coast at the moment. Good but not exceptional. I don't think Jean-Philippe Crasso will score enough goals to lead the Ivorians to the title. And the other forwards, the likes of Christian Kouame and Jeremy Boga, just don't bring enough to the table. I don't remember how many times Seko Fofana tried to score from beyond 30 yards against Nigeria. At some point it became funny, but it also told you something like an understanding on Fofana's part that Ivory Coast just don't create enough. In midfield, Cote d'Ivoire are as solid as any team at the tournament, but without the ingenuity to create and score goals, they are not going to win the Afcon. Neither will Egypt, the record 7-time winners. On the evidence of their first two games, Mo Salah's Egypt are a level below Morocco and Senegal. They picked up 2 draws against Mozambique and Ghana that could have easily been defeats. Egypt will see those games as an opportunity to get their act together before the business end of the tournament. But I feel those matches showed a side that is frankly short on quality. Mo Salah may be the best player at the tournament in terms of club form this year, but Egypt just don't move the ball fast enough to take advantage of Salah's world-class movement and counter-attacking skills. Anyway, they haven't done it so far, and I suspect they won't be able to do it. Salah absolutely has the ability to carry a team to a major title, but you have to play to his strengths. I feel Egypt hasn't done that so far at the Afcon. Of course, as long as they stick around, Egypt are a threat, and their tactical prowess will only become more valuable as the tournament progresses. But other teams will not be as eager to let Egypt off the hook as Mozambique and Ghana did in their group meetings. Now, I think Cameroon, Tunisia, Mali, and Cabo Verde can be sort of piled in the same class at this particular tournament. Although Cabo Verde and Mali are unbeaten at this point, I feel they are still among the outsiders, which is where this year's version of Cameroon and Tunisia possibly belong. I suppose Mali and Cabo Verde can beat anyone on their day, but as the stakes rise and the pressure mounts, I see their flaws being exposed and exploited by the sides they are likely to encounter in the knockout stages. Now, over to South Africa. Alright, where do we start? Bafana are not winning the Afcon. Okay, that is so original. Point is, I'm frustrated with South Africa, and it's not that they were among the title contenders before the tournament, or that they were even favourites to beat Mali. But there was something about their performance against Mali that just rubbed me the wrong way, and I suppose it rubbed any fan of South Africa and even a neutral in the same way. Mali are a good side. They are. They fully deserved their 2-0 victory over Bafana. The issue for me was watching Bafana play below their best, especially after Percy Tau's missed penalty. Granted, that was a significant moment in the game, and if Tau buries that penalty, maybe we're having a different conversation right now. But if you're South Africa, with a long history of underperforming at this stage, you can't afford to drop your shoulders because you missed a penalty that, get this, only came about because you're dominating the game. I mean, in the lead up to the penalty, South Africa were playing with conviction, and there was precision and beauty in their passing. They played the game and not the pedigree of Mali's European-based players or the burden of their poor history at the tournament. When South Africa played like that, they were the better side. But once Tau missed a penalty, Bafana's belief disappeared. They started to second-guess everything. They couldn't string passes together. And the result was the mistakes in defense that led to the 2 goals. It was the South Africa we've all come to know all over again. You know, the struggles of South Africa and African football are something of a paradox, because this is a country that has produced world champions in rugby, swimming, and has reached the semi-finals of the Cricket World Cup multiple times. South Africa's football league is the second richest in Africa, and clubs like Mamelodi Sundowns have won African titles. Don't forget, this is the only African country to host the World Cup back in 2010. The point is, South Africa should be an African powerhouse, but they are not, and on the evidence of their 2-0 loss to Mali, they are not about to change that. It's just a shame. As for Morocco and Senegal, it's a case of stop us if you can. Who will stop them? Your guess is as good as mine. But thanks for watching World Football Africa. Catch you next time.